can't jump to the question when you've just thrown some hell of a statement out there.
What was this thing?
You said that by getting a cheap goalkeeper, you can spend more in front. By getting a cheap defender, by getting Nørgaard, same logic, you can spend more. Are you seriously trying to tell me that had you bought an expensive midfielder or an expensive backup goalkeeper, Arsenal would not have the money to go and get a Gyökeres and to go and get a Rodrigo? Is that what you're saying? If I follow that logic through,
they want to spend and focus spending the majority of the money that they have to their disposal this window on the forward line.
And you think, okay, let me put it this way. If you had spent double the money on each of those positions, would that have impeded you still going for Gyökeres and for Rodrigo? So if Nørgaard cost you double, so 20, if this defender cost you 40, and if Kepa cost you 10, yeah, so I'm doubling their price. Would that really have impacted Arsenal on what they can spend? And would that have stopped you spending on Gyökeres and Rodrigo?
Potentially, because it depends how much money you save.
Bro, are you actually serious?
Yeah, because if you think about the money that we've saved by getting Kepa for 5 million, getting Nørgaard for 10 million, plus Thomas Partey's wages is...
Okay. So if the money is as tight as you're making it out to be, why the hell have you bought them in that order? Surely
the reason
logic would dictate that the biggest outlay to make sure you can afford it would be the one you get in first. And then you see what pennies you have left over and you can put them on the squad. Because there is no way your logic would make any sense, bro, in what you've just said. It can't work that way around. You don't spend the little bit and then say, okay, yeah, I've just because we've done that now, I've got enough for the big piece.
I get
particularly also, like, yeah, if we just look at Nørgaard ain't going anywhere. I don't see anyone that's been linked with Nørgaard but other than yourselves. I've not seen anyone linked with Kepa Arrizabalaga other than yourselves, right? Who's the other guy that you brought? Zumedi, obviously that was a preseason signing. The other two signings, no one was running for them at this moment in time.
Yeah. Does anyone ever go to the restaurant and then go to the sides and say, okay, I can afford my string beans, I can afford my chips. Okay, so I put that on. Okay, how much money do I have left for the main?
Exactly, bro.
It's never been done in the history of the world. In the history of people ordering meals in restaurants, nobody has ever gone to the sides first and budgeted the sides into their main budget.
No, but guys,
say, okay, what can I afford with the main?
Guys,
you know what it is? One second. Again, I'm just going to say this again. You know what it is? It's like buying car insurance before you bought the car and then seeing what you've got left over for the car and what you paid for it, man.
Arsenal are not going out there and doing what you guys are saying. We've already negotiated the price for the main. We know how much money we have to put aside for that. What we're doing now is to try to save as much money possible in other positions and still solve our areas.
Bro, you don't even know who you're going for.
We're looking for opportunities. We're looking for opportunities where we can save money plus get in quality, decent Premier League backups. Kepa, 5 million Premier League backup, not bad. 10 million for Nørgaard, Premier League backup, not bad. Kepa, what do you call it? Going and getting this Mascara guy. He's one of the most highly touted young centre backs. So we're going to be coming in.
Oh, you're missing the point, guy. You're missing the point, bro.
You guys are missing the point.
I'm not missing the point.
No. I've got a nice little agenda to cook here. Egal, I want to ask you this question, right? Because you bought Zubimendi, right? 60 million he cost. You paid over the asking price because you said you want this player. Does it worry you a little bit, yeah? That in these other options of what you're trying to do, you don't have the player per se where you're saying, I'm going to get this player at any cost. You're going into this season now, yeah, and you're looking at players and you're saying, you know what, we'll do that deal if the money's right. If the money's right, we'll buy it. No, that's what I'm saying. When Liverpool wanted to buy Gyökeres, Wirtz, yeah, they went to Wirtz and they said, we are buying this guy. We are buying this guy and we're entering into the negotiation to secure this player because we know we want this guy. With City buying their players, Reinders, we are going into this negotiation. We're buying this guy. You can make the argument about the money.
That's what we're trying to do with Rodrigo.
Bro, what I'm saying is like, I have not seen Arsenal enter into a negotiation with the sole purpose of securing that player in this window for one of your targets.
Yeah.
Which then makes me
It's only June 27th.
Bro,
No,
it's not
but
about-
Egal,
bro,
it's what you said, bro. Like, let me ask Egal this, right? But what you've said, to summarize, is that you have a pot of money. It's not infinite, it's a pot, correct? Yeah. So let's just call it 200 million, for example. I don't know what it might, just for ease of maths, 200 million. Okay. If you've then gone and spent your money on Kepa, Nørgaard, this defender, and then you come to Gyökeres, and finally we get to hear that it's Gyökeres you won over Sesko, okay? And let's just say you've already spent 110 million of that money, and you're prepared. I'm just making numbers up just to work in this thing, right? You said to Sporting, here's 90 million for him. They turn around and say, no, we want 100 million. Okay, forget the numbers. Yeah, just work in the pot. Are you then going to tell me that Arsenal are going to stop the whole deal over 10 million because it's now 10 million over the budget that they accounted for when they were buying these desserts, when they were buying these things to start
Arsenal, I'm just simply saying Arsenal are trying to find opportunities that are going to, one, be quality players for cheap to try to fill in the outside signings, because there are always players that we leave short. Jay said,
no, you said you put money aside
Jay
for the
said
strikers.
a couple weeks ago, you're not going to sign 6 players. Well, the way you go and sign 6 players is you go and get a $5 million backup keeper. You go and get a $10 million third choice DM. That's how you go and you have the money stretched to then get 6 players. And that's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying
it's not. No, it's not, Egal. That's absolute rubbish.
You save the money for the big signings.
Do you know what you're missing? Do you know the biggest point you're missing in all this logic you've said is the outgoings? Because what you're forgetting is that if you suddenly find yourself in a position where you're 30, 40 million shy, yeah, what Arsenal and what Chelsea would do, well, Chelsea would do, for example, Man City have done, is they would sell an academy player for 20, 30, 40 million pounds. That gives them pure profit to do it. So your whole plan here that you're trying to tell us that Arsenal have this fixed pot is rubbish, because at any point someone might come in and say, I don't know, Ben White. Someone wants Ben White, and Arsenal see it as a
Martinelli.
Whatever, whoever. I'm just giving you a random name. Someone could come in, they sell them, you suddenly find yourself with more money in the pot. Then you can go and buy your 5-6 players. Things are fluid in a transfer market. You can't dictate what's going to happen from day one to what it is, because what happens if you went to Gyökeres tomorrow and he said, you know what, Real Madrid just called me and I'm going there now. There goes your whole budget.
No, but that's why we've been negotiating 2 signings at the same time.
That's why you need to be careful, because at any point someone could come in and take him.
Yeah,
listen,
but my point is,
we can't judge BERTA. We can't judge BERTA. It's too early in the window to judge him.
Okay, right. So I just want to say one other thing. Yeah. So, well, 2 things actually. One is, that's absolutely fine. And my point was really more like, the Arsenal definitively know who they want, who's going to improve the team.
They know, but the public don't.
So my point is, if they do, they don't seem to be negotiating with that kind of energy. I could be wrong. And fair dues, whoever they secure, they don't need to buy the player now, 100%. Try and get them in for pre-season. As long as they're here for the first game of the season, you know, who's moaning? My point is just the way they're going about it. I'm just asking the question, do they?
It does come off as somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I get it.
I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing. I'm saying, but do you definitively know who you want, or are you going to buy the player that's the best value?
Based on the links, we don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. So my point is that's an open thing. Second thing is, with PARTEY, fantastic at buying players. Look at BERTA doing these deals, yada yada. Cool. Selling players. That's also your job. Hold on, bro. I'm saying selling players is also your job. And PARTEY was not great at selling players. He could buy players, but he couldn't sell players. I'm watching BERTA and I'm looking, okay, who's going out and what are you getting for them? That's a big part of his job. Let's see what he does in that side. You know what? You want to see he's cooking? Okay, who have you sold? How much money are you getting for your sales? Let me see that part of your job, because that's in your job. So I'm curious to see how he does. No idea yet. Let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, but Jay, we can only base on the evidence we've seen so far.
We don't have enough evidence to come to a conclusion.
Yes, we do. I'll tell you why we do have enough evidence, because we've seen Liverpool move. We've seen Man City move. We've seen Man United moving. Even my team has moved. Even Jay's dusty team has done a deal or two as well.
We've technically signed 3 players.
But you, or not you,
Dusty was unnecessary for the Europa League champions, by the way. But carry on, Wolfie.
Okay. The whole footballing world knows Arsenal need a number 9. And I would look, if you needed a number 9 just because you hadn't had one for a year, then we could understand it. 2 years, maybe. 4 years now, bro. 4 years. And the fact you didn't sign anyway, you didn't sign one in January.
We're gonna sign one in
January is because you're holding out for the right person.
We're gonna sign one of Sesko or Gyökeres.
You better hope no one snaps them up, bro. Because I'd love to know what the backup plan to that is. Is it Nicholas Jackson or is it Ollie Watkins? Ollie Watkins. You see, there's more PR being spun at the Arsenal fans without realizing. They're spinning Ollie Watkins or Nicholas Jackson so that when you do get Sesko, no one's kicking off that you didn't get Gyökeres, because everyone will be like, well, at least we didn't get Nicholas Jackson. That's the PR being spun at you guys now without even realizing, man.
Listen, I don't mind whoever Arsenal buy, and when they buy it, it's absolutely like, if they want Sesko and they're gonna try and, you know, they got plenty of time for pre-season. If they know he's the guy, and you know they're gonna try and negotiate it and take their time with it. Cool. I don't want Sesko. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what they're doing, so I don't want to come across as I'm being overly harsh. That's what I'm saying. But obviously we have to. I'm speculating. And Wolfie makes a point in terms of like things change.
But did you hear today's report? The report today is Real what do you call it? RB Leipzig wants 100 million for Sesko. So nobody's paying that.
That's my point. So that's a lot of money, and if you're gonna spend that money, you have to know he's your guy.
But you know the good thing I'm hearing is I'm happy I'm hearing names as Rodrigo replacements. So in the case we don't get Rodrigo, if we pivot for Eze, I'm gonna be happy with Eze.
That's fine, and Eze is a really good player, a very, very good player, and he's going to add value to the team. And
Football London reported,
bro, it'll be a good.
Sesko's team wants 99 million, and I was like, what?
So, and that's no issue. If you get Eze and Gyökeres, you know, absolutely, you know, great signings. The team will be better than it was last season. And
if you get Rodrigo and Gyökeres, maybe better, no?
Like it's no.
Who's better, Rodrigo or Eze in your eyes?
For Arsenal, probably Rodrigo. Who do I prefer as a player? Maybe Eze slightly. I'm not sure.
What are you saying,
the
Wolfie?
thing with Rodrigo is, and I'll always say this, you know, the thing, can I just say quickly on Rodrigo? The mind will create gaps in don't see. The guy hasn't really played on the left wing. He's not right wing. So now the little bits of game he plays on the left wing, so extrapolate that again across 38 games, that's what you're getting from him as a left winger. We don't know truly what you're going to get from him as a left winger. You're going to spend 80 million plus money on that guy to play left wing, and the sample size isn't massive in terms of what you're going to get for that. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, very good player. Is he gonna move the needle? I think he's gonna add a lot of value.
I think Rodrigo is a needle mover, and I think Eze is a clutch player.
I'm not sure he's as much of a needle mover as he's reported to be. But I also think that could be a little unfair because someone.
What about Eze? Is Eze a needle mover?
I think he's shown he's a needle mover at Palace. Like, I'm not trying to say that what he's done at Palace is better.
Why are people saying I'm making stuff up? Where have you been? Both Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook have reported that Eze is Arsenal's backup to Rodrigo. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up. Wonderful show. Finally, when the window is closer to being closed, it will all make sense. I think right now it looks, you know what this is? This is like a painter painting a picture, and you first see him drawing random lines on the wall, and you're like, "What the hell is that?" It just looks like zigzags, and then eventually it looks like a beautiful photo, a beautiful.
Yeah, there's plenty of paintings that turn out like shit. Egal.
Of Arteta. Egal. You could see two squiggles on a page and think it was a Picasso when it comes to Arsenal. I truly believe that.
Right now, you know what You know what they've done? They basically took a piece of paper. They took a piece of paper and they've just gone. They've just gone.
Yeah, and then you know what you've done? You've been filling in the gaps in between with your bullshit, bro. That's what you've been doing.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Love for the love. People saying Egal, you're talking random. Listen,
Right.
I think I'm making a lot of sense. You're just not reading between the lines. Anyways, we're gonna redirect this to somebody. Who should we redirect it to? Who's live, guys? Who is live? Somebody's got to be live. One of the regulars. Who's live? Let's see.
You want to do it to Dan United? New guy. He's on Potts' channel a lot. He started a new channel.
Who's it?
Dan United. I'll send you the link.
Dan United. I was gonna send it. I was gonna send it to either. I was gonna send it to Vader. Vader's a regular on this show. He's a Man City fan. I was just gonna say, guys, go show him some love. But he's not even live.
Yeah, send it to Dan, man. Send it to Dan. He's one of Potts' boys on the 12th man. He's got 10 people watching him. Let's go and make his night.
All right, so send me the link.
Send it to you on WhatsApp. Send it to you on WhatsApp.
Send me the link. Guys, everybody here, go show Dan some love. Go show Dan some love. Be like, yo, raid from Egal. Also mention WOLFIE showed you some love also. And guys, I'm gonna send the link to him. Let's go send it his way. 1 second. Where is it? Boom. Put that video in there. Yo, I can't send it. He doesn't.
He hasn't unlocked. All right, Josh is live. Josh is live.
He hasn't unlocked this thing.
Josh, you wanna go, Josh?
I'm just gonna send it to Vader, man. Vader's live right now.
He said he's not live.
It says Vader's live.
All right, cool.
Guys, go to Vader, Manchester City fan. Check him out. Tell him 115 is coming. He's gonna start crying. His name is Vader Games. But yeah, Jay, you got anything to say before we go?
Jay's not here, bro.
No?
Just you and me, Habibi.
Where did he go? I swear he was just
literally... No, it's connection bugged out probably, but
bro, why does it say Vader's not live? I swear he's live. You know when it does that? It does that thing. You know who's live? Patrick's live. I'm gonna send it to Patrick.
Monts is live.
I'm gonna send it to Patrick. I'm gonna send it to Patrick because he has like 60 people watching him. Let's send it to Patrick, guys. Do me a favor, guys. Go to Patrick and be like 115 raid. 115 raid. Tell him 115 raid, okay? 115 raid. We're out of here, people. Catch you guys on the next video. Love for the love. You already know what it is. Egal Talks Football. Big up WOLFIE every single time. Big up Jay. Big up Ahmed. Big up everybody who was supposed to be on the panel today that couldn't make it. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Love for the love. You already know what it is. Peace. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please do hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And leave a comment down below what you thought of that video you just watched.